What does it mean when a country claims a breakthrough in missile engine technology capable of reaching the United States? And how much of that claim reflects real capability versus strategic signaling? North Korea now says it has tested a solid fuel engine producing up to 2,500 kilonewtons of thrust, a notable increase from roughly 170 kilonewtons reported just months earlier. This video examines what this development could actually change in military terms, how it fits into North Korea's long-term strategy, and why it matters far beyond the Korean peninsula. If this development proves credible, it fundamentally shifts the operational flexibility of North Korea's missile forces. Solid fuel systems reduce launch preparation time from hours to minutes, making detection and interception far more difficult. If it fails or is overstated, it reveals limits in North Korea's engineering capabilities and reliance on external support. If it succeeds at scale, it could reshape deterrence calculations not only for the United States, but also for regional actors like South Korea and Japan, potentially accelerating an arms competition in Northeast Asia. To understand how this point was reached, it is necessary to look at the historical trajectory of North Korea's missile and nuclear programs. Since the early 2000s, Pyongyang has invested heavily in ballistic missile development, initially focusing on liquid fuel systems derived from Soviet-era designs. These systems, while capable of long ranges, require extensive pre-launch fueling, making them vulnerable to preemptive strikes. Over time, North Korea shifted toward solid fuel propulsion, a more advanced technology that allows missiles to be stored fueled and launched rapidly. This transition reflects a broader strategic objective: survivability under pressure and the ability to maintain a credible second strike capability. The key actors shaping this development include Kim Jong-un, who has prioritized strategic weapons as central to regime security, and Donald Trump, whose earlier diplomatic engagement with Pyongyang collapsed in 2019. That collapse marked a turning point. Following the failure of negotiations, North Korea resumed and accelerated weapons development, framing it as a response to what it perceives as continued external pressure. Analysts also point to growing military cooperation between North Korea and Russia, particularly in the context of the Ukraine conflict, as a possible source of technical assistance. The recent test, reported by the Korean Central News Agency, involved a ground firing of a solid fuel engine constructed with composite carbon fiber materials. The reported thrust increase from approximately 1,070 to 2,500 kilonewtons suggests a significant improvement in propulsion efficiency. However, critical data points such as combustion duration and total impulse were not disclosed, leading some experts, including South Korean researcher Lee Chun-gyun, to question whether the claims fully reflect operational capability. Without those parameters, it is difficult to determine whether the engine can support an intercontinental ballistic missile with a reliable payload. This test also fits within North Korea's broader 5-year military development plan, which emphasizes what it describes as strategic strike capabilities. In practical terms, that refers to nuclear-capable ballistic missiles, including intercontinental systems designed to reach the U.S. mainland. North Korea has already demonstrated missile ranges theoretically capable of reaching North America, but challenges remain, particularly in ensuring that warheads can survive re-entry into the atmosphere at high speeds and temperatures. Recent developments suggest a pattern of incremental progress combined with strategic ambiguity. In September, North Korea described a similar engine test as part of a final development phase, yet no confirmed ICBM launch using that engine followed. In 2024, Pyongyang claimed a successful multi-warhead missile test, which South Korea dismissed as an attempt to obscure a failed launch. These inconsistencies highlight the difficulty of assessing North Korea's true capabilities, as state media often blends technical reporting with political messaging. One possible scenario is that North Korea has indeed achieved a meaningful breakthrough in solid fuel engine performance. If that is the case, the next logical step would be the deployment of smaller, more mobile ICBMs, potentially mounted on transporter erector launchers or submarines. This would complicate detection and targeting efforts by US and allied forces, increasing the survivability of North Korea's arsenal and strengthening its deterrence posture. A second scenario is that the reported improvements are overstated, either due to technical limitations or as part of a deliberate signaling strategy. In this case, North Korea may still be working toward a reliable solid-fuel ICBM, but has not yet achieved the consistency required for deployment. The absence of a follow-up missile launch using the new engine could indicate ongoing challenges in integrating propulsion with guidance and payload systems. A third possibility lies between these extremes. North Korea may have achieved partial success, improving engine performance, but still facing constraints in areas such as re-entry vehicle design or multi-warhead deployment. In this scenario, continued testing would be expected, along with incremental advances rather than a single decisive breakthrough. The geopolitical implications extend beyond the technical details. For the United States and its allies, improved North Korean missile capabilities increase the complexity of missile defense planning. Systems designed to intercept predictable launch profiles become less effective against mobile, rapidly deployable platforms. For South Korea and Japan, the threat environment becomes more immediate, potentially driving further investment in missile defense and counterstrike capabilities. At the same time, the broader global context cannot be ignored. The deepening relationship between North Korea and Russia, combined with shifting dynamics in US foreign policy, introduces additional variables. If external assistance is contributing to North Korea's progress, it could accelerate timelines and expand the scope of its capabilities. Conversely, increased international pressure or sanctions could slow development, though past experience suggests that North Korea has adapted to such constraints over time. Ultimately, this moment reflects a long-term pattern rather than a sudden shift. North Korea's missile program has advanced through incremental gains, punctuated by high-profile tests that serve both technical and political purposes. The reported engine test fits within that pattern, offering a signal of intent as much as a demonstration of capability. In the end, the question is not simply about one test or one claim. It is about how states build and project power under conditions of uncertainty. Stability depends not only on capabilities, but on perceptions of those capabilities. As North Korea continues to develop its arsenal, the balance between deterrence and escalation remains unresolved, shaped by technology, strategy, and the persistent gap between what is declared and what is actually achieved.